Today we will be talking about higher order functions. A higher order function is a function that returns another function as its result. We have been using the root reducer in the last few videos, but that's not the only way to reuse reducer logic. And high order reducers come into the scene to help us with reusability and reducing code duplications. Higher order reducers, unlike the root reducer approach, allow us to apply a certain functionality to the reducers that need it. They do so using functional composition. So, now let us jump into our example. Here we have a function that has two parameters, first and second, and we are returning a console.log of the concatenation of first and second. So we will get the output of greet hi little kitty. Now if we want to rewrite it using a higher order function, then we will be separating their arguments in two nested functions. So we will edit them, and then we are going to add two arrow functions between the two parameters. Here the greet function returns hi that we are calling, and it allows the functional composition for the code to be reused. Let us see a deeper example for this. So we are going to create another file inside of components folder, which will be hire.js. This is our main component that we will be using in this video. So using RFCE, we are going to create a class, a functional component, and then we will be converting it into const. We will import connect from React Redux. We are also going to import two of our actions from the action.js file inside our store, which we are going to write later on. So our first action is add user and the second is add article. A reducer is simply a function, so when using higher order functions, we apply the same pattern to our reducer and it becomes a higher order reducer. We will convert the higher into a function using our arrow function, so we will edit that. We will add 4 parameters inside higher. So our parameters are users, articles, add user and add articles. So these are the 4 parameters that we will pass inside it, and then we are going to add 2 buttons inside our component which will be displayed. Now we will be adding a button that says add user. So whenever we click this button, it will display and increment the number of users. We will also add an on-click function inside our button. This on-click function will be calling the add users. So, and we will also display the number of users just after the button. So for that we will be using the map function. So for that we will write users.map, and inside that we have users which is assigned to a p tag which will display the number of user. Similarly, we will add another button which says add articles, and using the map function we will again display the number of articles. So the button has the on-click function of add article here. Add article is going to increment the quantity of articles, and again we will be using the map method which says articles.map, and it takes the argument of article and it will display the number of articles inside a p tag. Lastly, we are going to add the map dispatch to props and map state to props method inside our hire.js component. So for that, first of all we will import connect from React Redux, and we will be writing our method that is map state to props, which takes state and it also returns state. So giving it state, and then it returns state. Next we will write our map dispatch to props. So const map dispatch to props, it takes the argument of add users and add article, adding the connect function. So at the end we will do export default and then connect. Inside connect we will have two arguments, that is map state to props, and the second argument will be map dispatch to props. And another parenthesis will include the name of our component, that is hire. We will add our component inside our app.js also. Now inside our action.js file we are going to create our action. So first we have a user count of 0, and similarly we have an article count of 0. This is the initial value which is set to 0. Now we will be writing our two actions, that is export const add user, and it is an arrow function. Here we are going to increment the value of the user. So inside return we will have a type which is add user, and it also has a payload. The payload displays the number of users. So here we will be using the dollar sign, and inside that we will be assigning the user count and we will be incrementing that. And for our add article we will be copying this and then we will just edit it. So in place of add article we will be having, in place of add user we will be writing add article, and the instead of user count we will have article count. So two buttons, and whenever we click the button the value will be incremented. This is our action.js file. Now we are going to create our two reducers. The first one is user.js. This file has a switch case. First is add user and the second is a default case, and another one is our articles.js. Here we will be adding add article, and everything is same except for the name. The aim is to use these two reducers uh, without using our root reducer. So now in the index.js file we have both of our reducers and we have combined them using combine reducers, and we have also added our hire inside the app.js. So we get the output and you can see everything works fine. We are incrementing the article and the users. Now we are going to convert this into a high order reducer. So we are going to add a const which takes reducer and section as its input, and it has two arguments. So after that we will have state and action. So that is the input of our reducer. Here we are adding an if statement which says that if the action dot type is equivalent to add underscore, and we will match the section of the action, that is add user or add article, and according to that we will display our output. So inside that we will have a return statement which will return the copy of the previous state, and it will display the action.payload. And if this is not true we will just return the reducer with its state and its action. And inside our root reducer we are going to add our add function, which is a higher order reducer. It is a pure function and it has two arguments. The first one is users and the second is user. Similarly adding it for articles. After this, if we will save our file, then our buttons are working usual like it was working before. So that's it for today. Thank you.